mean, that doesn't look that bad. Let's revisit this tomorrow in the daylight so we can look a little closer as to potentially what's damaged. There's some stuff, but it's not too bad. Holy hell, it's windy. I mean, super windy. God dang it. All right, a lot of you guys wanted an update on Green Goblin. I want to show you guys the damage, how it happened, the condition of the safe sled, the condition of the parts, and just overall show you guys how bad this was and how bad it really isn't that bad. So, does that make sense? All right, first of all, safe sled. For me, it was a one-time use. It got destroyed. It was really bad. So this for me was a one-time use. If you guys have used this in the past, I know a lot of guys have gotten multiple uses out of this, but overall, worth the money. You're spending around 250 bucks. You get yourself a safe sled that can save you from an 1800, 2500, almost 3000, depending on where you're stuck at in Glamis. It can save you a lot of money. So 250 bucks, well worth the trade-off. Safe sled destroyed, but I did order another one, so I got a fresh black unit right here. Sorry for the wind, guys. I'm definitely gonna have to close the garage. It's too windy and all this stuff's going inside. But here we go, Pro R. I do gotta work on this, by the way, so I'm gonna have to freaking be walking around. I'm gonna have to close the garage and just walk around. I gotta swap the springs on this and a couple other things. But here we go, the damage. So the damage was really just the tie rod, right? Initially, the tie rod snapped in half. First it bent, we tried riding it. Abraham was driving and it was probably already 2 weeks, so it just snapped in half. And then just trying to get out of the dunes. We were in some really soft sand, if you saw the last video. We tried to drive it with the arms kind of tied up, but then we just ended up going into sand and it just got worse. And the rotor broke. And turns out, this is an expensive rotor. Here you can see the damage. Those marks there are the studs that were grinding on it because I had it in 4-wheel drive. I at least wanted that right wheel, or excuse me, that front wheel to help pull me. So I had it in 4-wheel drive locked, and that was spinning this, and it broke even worse. So the studs ended up pushing off. When we checked, or after we got off the car, we realized there was only 2 studs hanging on for dear life, and literally hanging on for dear life, like they were already pushed off. They were just coming off. So I just pulled them off completely. So those are jacked up. So I got 5 studs, 1 rotor, and tie rods. I already had a set of tie rods. Let me show you guys those. Now what I'm about to show you is the expensive option. So we'll show you guys this in another video when I do like the bulletproofing of this machine. And essentially these are tie rod replacements. But the main guy that's the weakest is the inner tie rod. You can see the outer one is pretty damn beefy, but the inner one is a lot thinner, almost half the size, and that's the one that normally breaks. So CA Tech, and I believe a couple other companies, offer just the inner tie rod replacement. It's about 400 bucks, or double the price, or more than double the price, would be the ZRPs, which is what we're putting up on this machine. I would normally choose the other ones, but this one's, I had them sitting on the shelf. These are obviously a lot better because it's a full replacement from end to end, including the clevis. The CA Tech versions also have a clevis, but you're basically getting half of this, right? So makes sense. So more casualties. I thought maybe the hub could have been damaged, but after staring at it for like 5 minutes, everything looks nice and straight. I'm gonna put a straight edge on it to make sure that all the faces are flat. We'll put some new studs on that and it should be good to go. I shouldn't have any issues with this hub assembly. What did get damaged was this boot for the axle. I'm gonna assume there's sand in there, so this axle is basically trash, which is not the big deal because I mean we kind of already had to replace it. There was already grease everywhere on the inner portion. So I think the other side's good, which is great news. So 1 axle, 1 disc, 1 tie rod, 5 studs. The only other part that was a little bit suspect as far as damage goes is this caliper. I don't know if you guys can see, but the outer side of the caliper got damaged from the rotor spinning on it. at the time we didn't even think about it, but once you take off the wheel, obviously nothing's holding the rotor onto the hub. So the rotor kind of did this thing right here, right? Moved sideways, and so it was wearing a little bit. I mean, we didn't go far, but it wore in a little bit on the caliper. I don't think that's a big deal because the pad actually rides on these 3 ears, 1, 2, 3, or 4, not this bottom portion. So I'm just gonna clean up any sharp edges, and I think we should be good on the caliper side. So overall, not too bad. You know, we did have a little bit of damage here from the wheel hitting on this guy, but again, not too bad. I think, oh man, I just keep saying not too bad, but then I forgot to say the goddamn bumper, from pulling like 20 times, literally like 20 times, the Fast Lap bumper didn't survive. So I mean, Fast Lap makes great products, don't get me wrong, but it did take a little bit of a tumble. So definitely got to replace the bumper. Luckily, Doug from TMW is taking care of us and giving us a bumper. So again, shout out to the companies that have sponsored a lot of the parts on this build, including TMW now, and Fast Lap too. So Fast Lap, thank you for that bumper. Unfortunately, we destroyed it in Glamis. Nothing survives Glamis. So new bumper coming in from TMW, and then we got a new Viper Machine shifter, which is in this box here. So big shout out to Viper Machine for giving us a shifter, and big shout out to RPM because they gave us a bunch of parts as well. Dirt Direct for their new chase light setup, which I have a powder coat right now, and then VRP also gave us their pull plate. So a lot of companies are just kind of jumping on board and helping us out with products, which is great. Sometimes I will ask for products, for example, SF, and they took care of us with a very good price. So thank you to SF Raceworks. And then other times, we got companies that just, they reach out, and those are the ones that I really appreciate because I know they watch the channel and they care about, you know, the fleet. So also KMC, they gave us a set of rims, their new impacts that are not released yet. And just a lot of companies out there that are jumping on board and helping your boy out here and making sure the fleet is looking good. Green Goblin is turning into one badass machine. But yeah, Pro R is broken. She's seen better days, guys, but I mean, what are you gonna do? This is the sport we're in. Things are gonna break. My stuff did a little too hard. I didn't think I should have broke the tie rod, but I guess this is gonna be one of the weak points on these machines. There are other products that I'm gonna recommend besides these tie rods to beefing up the front end. Basically everything surrounding the arms. The arms are really good, I think. Tie rods for sure. Ball joints, we're gonna swap them. Forks we talked about in a recent video. And then over here is something that I think is very important, and that's gonna be a gusset kit. So we got a gusset kit for this machine. We'll install that in one of the future videos. Like I said, I think it's necessary because I've seen a lot of guys, and I mean a lot of guys, rip out the whole arm and bolt out of the chassis, leaving a damaged chassis behind, which obviously is no bueno. So if you guys have a Pro R, let me know in the comment section down below. What have you done in beefing up the machines? Have you had issues like this where either you break a tie rod, break a ball joint, break a fork, or damage your chassis? And let me know if the arms, which so far have been amazing, and I think from what I hear are really good, let me know how yours have held up. Was it your fault? Did you have an accident? So on and so forth. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Just wanted to give you guys a little update on Green Goblin. So short video. Don't forget, buy parts at glifeutv.com. All the stuff that we mentioned on the videos is all available on the website. Spring kits, bumpers, lights, grills, tie rods, cages, doors. Basically everything we've installed on this machine is available on the website. If there's something that's new and you don't see it on the website because it just got released by a manufacturer, send me an email and we'll get you taken care of. Buying parts from me supports the channel, so we keep making videos. It's not easy making videos. It's a lot of work.
We're broke,
but worth it. It's fun. We'll see you guys. All right, we got green springs with the forks. That looks much better. And in the back too. Although I'm doing a little touch up on this because since we're gonna keep this thing, I don't want it rusting. So I'm gonna touch that up with some steel lit. But the green looking mighty fine. See you guys.